In this example, we are dealing with electrostatic equilibrium. I will explain later on what does that mean when we are talking about electrostatic equilibrium. Two charges, Q1 negative 2 times 10 to the power of negative 6 Coulomb, and Q2 negative 1.8 times 10 to the power of negative 5 Coulomb, are separated by a distance of L of 4 meters. A third charge, Q3, 1.5 times 10 to the power of negative 6 Coulomb, is placed somewhere between Q1 and Q2, where the net force exerted on Q3 by the other two charges is 0. Determine the location of Q3. So since we have two forces coming from these two charges on Q3, and the resultant or the net force of these electrical forces is 0, we're gonna say we are dealing with electrostatic equilibrium. Here we are dealing with unlike charges, so they attract each other. It's gonna be F23, and here we are dealing with F13, the force acting on the third one. So let's calculate F23 and F13. F13 is going to be K times, we are using Coulomb's law, Q1 times Q3 divided by the distance squared, which in this case is going to be X. F23 is going to be K Q3 Q2 equal over L minus X to the power of 2. Since the resultant and net force is 0, it means that these two forces are equal. So I make them equal to each other. K Q1 Q3 divided by X squared equals to K times Q3 Q2 L minus X to the power of 2. K and K cancel out. Q3 and Q3 cancel out. So we have Q1 over X squared equals to Q2 over L minus X to the power of 2. Q1 is 2 times 10 to the power of negative 6 divided by X squared. Q2 is 1.8 times 10 to the power of negative 5 over L, which is 4, minus X to the power of 2. Now I need to do cross multiplication. 2 times 10 to the power of negative 6 times 4 minus X to the power of 2 equals to 1.8 times 10 to the power of negative 5 X squared. If I multiply both sides by 10 to the power of 6, this cancel out, and this one is going to be 10. So I'm going to have 2 times 4 minus X to the power of 2 equals to 18X squared. Then 2 times 4, 8 minus, here let's do it this way, 2 times 4 minus X to the power of 2 equals to 18X squared. I need to expand it. So it's going to be 4 squared 16 plus X squared minus 8X equals to 18X squared. So when you expand it, it's going to be 32 plus 2X squared minus 16X. And I bring this one to the other side. Negative 18X squared equals to 0. Then when you simplify it, it will be negative 16X squared minus 16X plus 32 equals to 0. Now I divide the whole thing by negative 16. So it's going to be X squared plus X minus 2 equals to 0. Now I'm dealing with a quadratic equation. In order to solve it, I can use factoring method or I can use quadratic formula. So that is gonna, if you use factoring, I'm gonna have X plus 2 times X minus 1 equals to 0, and the answer is gonna be X equals to negative 2 and X equals to positive 1. So as you see here, X is length. Length cannot be negative, so this part is not acceptable. So X will be 1 meter. So it means that Q3 is 1 meter away from Q1 and 3 meters away from Q2.